All right, my sleepy and silly minions, it is that time. We're going to send it over to the main stage for a STRAFE Millennium Edition and any present seated run by Hupfen.
Yes. All right, good morning, everybody. It's shaping up to be another lovely San Jose Saturday here. Local time 7:42 a.m., 55 degrees outside with an estimated high of 77. You're listening to Radio Hupfen, and up next, we have a seated any percent run of STRAFE, the roguelike retro-style first-person shooter and 2017's hottest game of 1996. This run will start, and this bit will end in 3, 2, 1, go. So we start off on the Icarus, the first zone, and we are immediately, once we travel through space and ignore this corpse, immediately beset by a few enemies that have surrounded the wandering shopkeeper. He's terrified, so we're gonna kill everything because that makes him not scared. Go figure. And you should be the last one left. You are no longer left, thank you. Oh. And now that everyone's gone, he should be satisfied, and he gives us a little gift. That gift is thrusters, and this is what's going to make the run much faster. Thrusters are a speed boost. No matter how you're moving, you end up going faster. That was Icarus 1, by the way. Level's over. On top of just going faster, while you are thrusting, you cannot be touched. So this is the only way to get consistent iframes throughout the entire run. And since you're moving fast and you are untouchable, anything that does touch you just dies. And so we end up using it as an offensive tool as well. Now, this game has a story. It doesn't matter. But as we're going through the Icarus, you're going to see like the key card that we just picked up. Every zone has a way of basically gating your progress. And on your second level of each zone, there is also a shop, which also gates your progress. On this one, we have to convince the shopkeeper that everything is safe.
It looks very safe.
It's very safe. Everything's dying. It's wonderful. Yes, it's safe. See how safe it is? See how safe it is that we just shot you? No worries. We do this because we need the items that are in the shop, which we've now gathered them all. We get double jump, which actually operates kind of like gun boots. You actually shoot downwards, and you can damage enemies that way. We get rainwear, which protects us from the yellow acid blood that we'll be seeing more so later on in the game. We get steroids, which just make you go faster. Pretty good to have. And we get everyone's favorite indiscriminate airborne murder drone, Airbud, who's just going to go around and shoot stuff when we're not doing the same. Like that guy. Get airbudded. So we have the items that we need, and now we need to do the other important part of the equation. Let's grab this. Don't worry about all the health we're taking or damage we're taking, by the way. We're fine. I have to make sure I grab this little Chekhov's gun, and then grab this modifier. Every gun in the game has 3 primary and 3 secondary modifiers. Got the skip. This is the plasma laser, or the mining laser, as some of us call it. And with the cost of a small charge-up time, it does a lot of damage. It will basically kneecap everything in the game, including the things that thrusters won't. So we're just going to use that forever. We have a machine gun technically, but eh. So anyway, the Icarus is done. This is why we need the beacon. The Black Canyon, which is where we are now, is kind of beset by rock slides. They're a problem. Bad timing. Managed to invade the monster closet on accident. But these rock slides, like the one that was here, what you're supposed to do is go... I think I got the audio cue. Go grab an energy core off of a crash the spaceship, shove it onto the rock wall, wait for it to explode, and then go through. Or you can just shoot it.
That second one seems easy.
The second one is a lot faster, yes. It is a substantial time save. So we do that. And also a substantial time save is doing that armor crafting that we just did in the Black Canyon. So we use in-game time for the official timing on all this. Just boop the door. Tapping the door kind of sets off the is it safe to open the door check. Which, yep, it's safe. There we go. But in here, like we're in a loading zone. And that means in-game time is not progressing. So anything we do in here, like get food, get armor, that's free, as far as time is concerned. Every other zone and every other level, you have to go find the bench or the food dispenser somewhere, sometimes in a very inconvenient place. And especially with the armor crafting, you then have to stand there, wait for it to happen, and kind of just do that whole thing. We don't like waiting. What fun is waiting? So we're also grabbing these scrap bins, although I didn't really need that one. Glad to have taken it anyway. These are your rewards for beating the par times. See, the par time there was 5 minutes. Right now, our in-game time for the entire game is 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Par times are a nice little joke. Although when you're just starting out, those are actually pretty difficult times to hit. Anyway, we're done with the Black Canyon now. That's over. Hope you enjoyed it. There will be a gift shop later. But right now, we're in the burbs. And here, the kind of checkpoint gate system is literal checkpoints. It's those security spots. Nice bit of explosion, about right. Don't mind all the blood and the acid and whatnot, that just happens. This did not go well. That little green thing is Lil Joby, and it's adorable and sometimes very helpful and sometimes very obnoxious. You can use it basically as a meat shield if you're a terrible person, so we don't do that, but we do have to kill it because we're a terrible person.
Some concessions have to be made.
Some concessions have to be made. It's brutal. As you saw, like there were explosions. There are some enemies that will jump at you and explode into acid, which we have the rainware, so we're not worried about that. One of the kind of core mechanics of this game is the fact that enemies explode into blood. You can use that blood to paint over the acid and make it safe. So what looks like a really dumb, over-the-top, gratuitous violence is actually a valid game mechanic. So I probably just missed it, but I'm going to try to go for a glitch that, if I manage it, will be terrible. So I'm really hoping we get it. And I don't think... Oh, we got it. We got it. All right, this is horrible. So you know how you can't see the level right now? That's not intentional. The way this level is supposed to work, in terms of storyline, you have arrived in the second part of the burbs, and the residents are like, oh crap, the scrappers here, this is terrible. We have to stop them. Cut power. And so you arrive, there's a moment, the power goes out. You have to go to that substation, hit the button, restore power. If you do that really quickly, then the script to turn the lights back on starts before the script to turn the lights off even starts, and everything's fine. But if you time it just right, you start turning the lights on, as the lights are turning down, the game gets confused, everything goes dark. I'll still be able to complete the next level, but it'll be a little slower and very wonky, because I can't see anything. These scrap bins, like in Burbs and Athena, the fourth zone, we don't worry about them, because we're not going to hit a bench again. There's also a secondary reward if you beat par times where you get an extra stat boost canister from the Gun Duchess. But we're not really using our gun, so kind of doesn't matter. You are the wrong way. You are in my face. Okay. The hitboxes on collecting the fuses is a little wonky. Not always cooperative, but
Unlike the rest of the game, which is
unlike the yeah.
completely reasonable.
This game was actually, like, on its release, got a bit of a bad rap because there were a lot of little glitches with it that added up kind of over time. I'm going to take a little bit of safety health. And take the bus. Fortunately, like the Millennium Edition, which we're running here, version 1.2, solves a lot of those issues. It also added a bunch of enemies, added all the mutators that allow this run to happen. This is using seeded mode, which you can unlock and just turns it into a very predictable game. We're also using traditional mode, which is just for marathon safety. That basically gives you 3 lives. So even if things go bad and we die, which we shouldn't because we have 91 health right now, we'll be fine.
But what if we die 3 times?
Mistaken here, ask you the hard questions. So this is Athena. This is the final zone of the game. Its checkpoint is very dangerous. You'll realize that because we just ran past it without thinking about it. That's Athena 1. So what you're supposed to do is you reach those red force fields, and then you have to kill everything in the area before it. You can't bait the enemies away and then come back like you can with other like security doors in the game. You have to kill everything. Otherwise, if you run into the force field, it does 50 HP of damage. And that's 100 HP of your armor, because armor takes double damage. So you really don't want to do that. Remember how thrusters gave you iframes? Yeah, we don't care. We don't care about the force fields. Their security system didn't reckon on us. So we take what is honestly the most difficult section of the game. Some of these enemies are extremely tanky. You'll see these spider mech kind of things. They are very annoying and explode into acid. Whatever. There's a Resident Evil tyrant in here somewhere. Whatever. Shouldn't even need that safety health. Yeah, there's a tyrant. Just bye-bye. So we're coming up on the final boss, the only boss, really. And the boss is the reason that I made sure to grab this gun. See, I don't like boss fights. Personally, not a big fan. So we're not going to do it. I referred to this gun as Chekhov's gun earlier because a gun picked up in the first act must be fired in the final act. And it's the final act. Shout out to the developers of this game who are also filmmakers. So yeah, we're just going to do that. Time is when I hit the terminal in the cockpit. I have 3 more people I need to kill first. The geometry here is pretty tight, so it's hard to get a decent safe thrust in. Because the computers will explode if you thrust into them and do a lot of damage. And time. Whew. So, to explain what just happened there, the boss fight is designed as a mix of a bullet hell and kind of a wave shooter. So you have turrets kind of spinning and shooting stuff at you as hordes of enemies drop in through those chutes, the same way we drop in. But to make sure that the enemies actually arrive, there are certain surfaces in those chutes that don't have collision. And we're able to use that plasma blaster to do kind of an angled wall jump, which is an intended mechanism. There's actually a secret level in the game where you have to do that to complete it. We use that to get up into a chute, past where there's no collision, go out of bounds, drop in behind the boss. And the boss death does nothing else than just open a door. So we don't need to kill it. We can just waltz right past. If you don't do that, that skip saves about 3 minutes. 3 to 3.5 minutes on a typical run. So for speed purposes, it's kind of essential. So like I said, we use in-game time to actually decide what the time is for leaderboard purposes. I'm curious what the real time was.
It was 13 minutes, 19 seconds.
13:19 is very good. Since that includes loads, like these are very good computers, so that is certainly a factor. But our in-game time is 8:31. That is pretty solid. I have been managing around 8 minutes, but for a marathon setting, I'm very happy with this. World record actually uses a different seed and some incredibly risky strats to get under 7 minutes. But it's not the sort of thing that I would be comfortable showing at a marathon at all. It is incredibly risky. But yeah, that's STRAFE. That's all there is to it. So I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank Mistaken for coming out, being on the couch. I have been and continue to be Radio Hupfen, and we'll be throwing it over to the host while Spike Vegeta shows up for Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for 90 of the funkiest minutes you'll have all day. Stay tuned.
Thank you so much for that. That was by far the best game from 1996 from 2017 I've ever seen. Love those old mechanics like telefragging and whatnot. All right, I know you'll be hearing a lot about this from myself and other hosts as the day continues, but I just want to mention so everybody's aware, there is a Symphony of the Night bonus run available right now. We will replace Setup Block 1 with Castlevania Symphony of the Night, ran by Rom Scout, blindfolded, if you only raise $15,000 for charity. We've already got about $800 in the pot for that, so keep those donations coming. All right, well, they only called me in to keep this unruly, sleep-deprived crowd under control. I think my work here is done. They're fine now. It's cool. Don't bust out the funny cameraman again, otherwise they'll get all crazy. That's it. So I'll be handing it over to Edobean now. Thank you so much for sticking with us. That was STRAFE. Up next, Tropical Freeze. I've been Prolix. Have a good day, everyone, and I'll be back later.
Hello and welcome. I'm Edobean, and this is Games Done Quick Express. And Spike just agreed that he will not eat the burrito. Just so you guys know, there are a couple incentives that we still need to reach at the moment. I believe the one that we've been pushing actually is for Symphony of the Night blindfolded. We want 15,000. We're at 877. So if you want to see Symphony of the Night blindfolded, that's ridiculous. I don't even know how they can just speedrun the game normally. But if you want to have that happen, go ahead and send in those donations now. We also have for a main man X 100%. Otherwise, it'll be Annie, and I'm like, Annie, it's okay, but you gotta have your Hadouken. Come on, you have to see Waller's Prime, who is the world record holder for 100%. You have to see it. We need 5,000 for that, and we're at 803. So let's make that happen, guys. Also, speaking of incentives, right after this game is Titanfall 2. And we have a glitch exhibition that we have not met. We're at 1,100, and we need 3,000. I think we can make it happen. We have plenty of time. So go ahead and send us donations in for all those incentives. Let's make it happen, guys. Thank you, Halra, for your $10 donation. Thank you, Gabriel Rosales, for your $10 donation. And thank you, Anonymous, for your $25 donation. We have a $5 donation from Armuda saying more GDQ is always welcome, both for gamers to be entertained and for the charities involved to help people. Put this towards the Symphony of the Night blindfolded run. Greetings from the UK. We have a $15 donation from Ernick15 that says, can't wait to see everyone at AGDQ, but in the meantime, loving watching this from my couch.